Hello you all, it's Shanika here, the owner of Roseonna Naturals, and I am back with another video. As stated in last segment, I would come on here and do a very simple hair moisturizer, and that's exactly what I'm going to do for you all today. Now this hair moisturizer is very beginner friendly, so if you're just starting out the formulation process, you should not have any problems at all making this hair moisturizer. Also, the ingredients are very user friendly as well. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the water phase. For the water phase, I will be using all of my water soluble ingredients. I am going to start off by pouring my distilled water. Also, you guys, make sure that you don't use any tap water, any different kind of water. Only use distilled water to eliminate any bacteria in your formulations. Also, I will list the ingredients that I use and the percentages down below in the description section. Once I pour my distilled water in, I'm going to bring my scale back to 0. This is very critical. Make sure anytime you put an ingredient in that you bring it back to 0. That way you can know where you're starting from. Next, I am pouring in my aloe vera juice. If you're not aware, aloe vera juice is very beneficial in helping to strengthen the hair. It also helps to hold in moisture as well as to detangle. I am just mixing the aloe vera juice in, making sure that it's evenly distributed throughout the water. Then I'm going to bring my scale back to 0. Next, I'm going to go ahead and put in my humectant. For this particular video, I did choose Glycerin. I know that a lot of you out there are more familiar with Glycerin. Glycerin works very well whenever it comes to holding in moisture. I do know that there is another humectant out there that is really good by the name of 1,3-propanediol, but we'll get into that in another series. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and stick with Glycerin. Once I put that glycerin in, I'm going to stir that in to make sure that it's mixed very well. Next, we're going to go ahead and move on to our extract. The particular one that I decided to use is bamboo extract. Bamboo extract works really well with strengthening the hair as well as helping to hold in moisture. Now, the more you formulate, you will learn about the different extracts that are out there. Just a few off of the top of my head. I know there's marshmallow root. I know there's agave, hibiscus, plus many more out there. I really do love extracts because I feel like they really moisturize the hair. I feel like they penetrate really well, as well as to define the hair. Once I put that bamboo in, I am going to stir once again to make sure that it's mixed really well. And like I said, after you put each ingredient in, make sure that you mix really well to avoid separation. I am going to go ahead and set my water phase off to the side. Now moving right along to our oil phase. Here I am putting in my cetyl alcohol. Cetyl alcohol is an emulsifier. It blends your oils and waters together. It's very critical. Without it, your oils and your waters would go rancid. Next, I am putting in BTMS 25. It's benhydramonium methyl sulfate and cetyl alcohol. It works really well with conditioning the hair. Lastly, I am putting in Shea Butter. We all know that Shea Butter works really well with moisturizing the hair, and of course, we're all familiar with it as well. Next, I am using Argan Oil. The thing that I like about Argan Oil is that it's not too heavy, it's not too light, it's in the middle. It works really well with conditioning the hair, giving the hair a moisturized feel without it feeling too greasy. The same with jojoba oil. Now, jojoba oil, it is a little bit heavier, but I tend to find that it doesn't leave the hair too greasy, especially if you don't use a lot of it and you use the right amount. It leaves the hair very moisturized. And this is just me putting the last little bit of jojoba oil into the beaker. Moving right along, we're going to go ahead and put in that castor oil. Castor oil helps to obtain growth. It also can help to achieve growth as well. This clip here, I am just showing you all what the water phase and the oil phase looks like. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take my oils and water and set both on the burner. Once completed, I'm going to take my water and pour it into the oils. Make sure you do not do it the other way around, because if you do so, your formulation may end up breaking up or it may not mix well. At this point, I am mixing my ingredients, and as you see, my formulation is starting to get creamy. Then I'll take my stick blender and I'll stick blend to get my formulation a lot thicker. And as you see, the more I blend, the more creamier and thicker my formulation is getting. And this is what it looks like after stick blending for about 3 minutes. And then once I let it set for about 5 to 10 minutes, my formulation has gotten a lot thicker. So the more you let your formulation sit, you'll start to see that it is getting a lot thicker. And also the more you use that stick blender, it should get thicker as well. I will use my temperature gun to check the temperature of my formulation, and it looks like it's at 40 degrees Celsius. That is what I prefer before I put my heat sensitive ingredients in. And this brings us to our final phase, the heat sensitive phase. I am going to go ahead and put my preservative in. And for those of you that are not familiar with the preservative, it is very well needed, especially if you're using oils and water. You don't want to develop some type of bacteria in your formulation, so make sure that you do use a preservative. At this point, I don't use my stick blender, and the reason being is because I tend to find that a lot of my formulation ends up in the stick blender, and I end up losing a significant amount of formulation. So I like to just take my spoon, and I will just make sure that the formulation is mixed really well. So I am bringing my scale back to 0, and I am now putting in my choice of fragrance. You guys, look at how creamy that hair moisturizer is. It's very fluffy, it's lightweight, there aren't any lumps. And this is just me showing you guys a close-up of how the moisturizer looks. Next, I am going to go ahead and put in some vitamin E oil. Vitamin E oil works really well with strengthening the hair. And I'm just going to go ahead and stir that vitamin E oil, making sure that it's mixed in really, really well. And this right here is pretty much the end results of how the hair moisturizer looks like. It's very creamy and it can be used for everyday use. Make sure you guys let me know how your formulations turn out if you decide to try this particular formulation at home. Also, leave any video recommendations down below in the comment section. I will leave all social media links down below in the description bar, as well as the formulation with the ingredients and my website. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you guys in another segment.